Hi, how are you? I'm Anthony from Cypher House Escape, back with video number 5 of the CMU Oregon Trail Puzzle Hunt. We are done with 9 of the 18 feeder puzzles, meaning we are exactly halfway through the feeder puzzle frenzy, and we have not yet tried any of the 3 meta puzzles. However, it's a big day because we officially unlocked one of the 3 meta puzzles at the end of the last video. Starting the timer in 3, 2, 1, here we go. Okay, I'm opening up Meta Puzzle 2 here. Let's take a look at what this is. Traveling the trail. While admiring the sights of the nearby national parks, you find a torn-up diary with some kind of misshapen map. It seems to chronicle the journey of a family from east to west along the Oregon Trail. You can almost read the diary, but the ink has run and jumbled up at least one word in each entry. As night falls, you begin to take a break from the day. Where will you spend the night? If on your journey you have successfully crossed the river, your job is easier. The answer to the previous meta will help you travel the trails. Oh, that's interesting. So up until this point, I had kind of thought that the 3 meta puzzles might be disconnected from one another, but now it's kind of looking like the answer to Meta Puzzle 1 might also feed into Meta Puzzle 2. Okay, this changes my game plan a little bit. If it had just been 6 puzzles that supplied answers and I was only missing 2 of them, I might have given this a shot. But given that we might also need Meta Puzzle Answer 1 first, I think I'm going to not quite take a look at this meta puzzle yet. Instead, I think I'm going to take a look at this grocery list puzzle, because if I solve the grocery list puzzle, then we'll unlock Meta Puzzle 1 as well. So grocery list. To stock up on supplies for their journey, the travelers are putting together a grocery list, but what's currently on it doesn't look very appetizing. And then we have a number of clues here. So these could just be normal crossword clues. I guess I'm going to proceed under the assumption that they are and try to solve some of them here. Procreate is probably breed. So maybe these are in alphabetical order, kind of like the last puzzle that had crossword clues. Objects strung on a necklace, or beads. Well, no, because that wouldn't be alphabetical then. A concluding musical passage is a coda. Catch illegally is probably poach, right? Scottish Highland language. Is it Gaelic? Military team. Could be a squad. Government overthrow is probably a coup. Backbones or spines? Gauzy bridal accessory, I would guess, is the veil. 6-sided rolling objects is dice. Baby's bed is probably a crib. So what do I do with these answers at this point? But what's currently there doesn't look appetizing. Okay, well, breed is 1 letter off from bread. Coda's 1 letter off from soda. Is this what we're doing? Garlic. Squad could be squid. Coup could become soup. Basil. Spices? So this column looks like it's gonna be what we're interested in. It's spelling ANS, this is probably gonna be W. Answer is, and then something here. So veil. Veal? Dice. What can dice become? Rice. Yeah. Answer carl. Carnal. That sounds like a pretty good guess. So in grocery list, we're trying carnal. Nope, that wasn't it. So if it's not carnal, I'm gonna try carpal. Carpal is correct. So that changes grocery list to green. We unlock T at 9, and we unlock Meta Puzzle 1. So I'm really excited to open up Meta Puzzle 1 and take a look at what's going on with that one as well. My time for that puzzle was just 13 minutes, so grocery list was definitely the fastest puzzle that I've solved as part of the CMU puzzle hunt so far. Okay, so now that we have Meta Puzzle 1 unlocked, I'm gonna start my timer and we'll take a look at that and see if we can make any progress on it or if I'm gonna need some more answers first. Starting the timer now. So Meta Puzzle 1, crossing the river. You've arrived at a large river. It looks like there are many ways to cross it, each connecting to something on the other side. What will you avoid by making a safe crossing? So I have these 6 clues from the puzzle page here, these blank spaces with the numbers from 1 to 14 it looks like. And then we have the 6 puzzles that are related to Meta Puzzle 1 here. I wonder in what way these answers and puzzles get matched to these clues. Let me look up a list of 2007 films and see if any of them are related to these words. I assume that in some way crossing the river is related to this, or maybe like, because it's talking about bridging something, so maybe one of these answers starts with CAR and ends with PAL, and that corresponds with carpal. I'm going to count all of these blanks and just put the number over here. I should have seen this coming, but there are, of course, a lot of films from 2007. I'm also putting the lengths of my answers over here, just in case I need that at a later point. I think I see something here. So it mentions that there are many ways to get across the river. I think each of our answers is hinting at a different way that one might get across a river. So for example, carpal tunnel is a thing. So I think one might take a tunnel across a river. There's also Adult Swim and Harper's Ferry. Oh, Contract Bridge. Okay, so that's a start. What do I do with those? There are many ways to cross it. That's what I just did. Each connecting to something on the other side. So maybe I need to further expand. So like Harper's Ferry is something. Maybe ferry something goes on the other side. I just found the movie Bridge to Terabithia by searching the 2007 list of films for the word bridge. And I was also searching for tunnel and swim and some other stuff. But this is 18 letters long, which would mean it would fit in this spot. I think that's what we're doing here. So now I have a few of the final letters for the answer. I should probably come up with a list of those. Looks like it goes from 1 to 14. And we have the letter 12 is an A, letter 1 is an H, and letter 13 is an R. Tunnel vision is a sight impediment. I just got that by putting tunnel into one look and trying different lengths after it. Okay, so this gives us the 10th letter is an E, and the 4th letter is a V. Still probably a bit too early to be getting anything from Nutramatic. I'm thinking swim meet is what goes here. We have that the 11th letter is a W, and we have the 3rd letter is an E. So this is now what Nutramatic looks like. Ferry Morse could be the agricultural company. That's a lesson in trying different sources, because I was trying everything on one look up until this point, and I was not having any luck. And then as soon as I typed in Ferry Agricultural Company into Google, it came up with Ferry Morse. So that gives us 2 more letters for Nutramatic. So I'm still not seeing anything for Nutramatic, even though I have a lot of the letters at this point. That makes me concerned that I have something wrong. Well, unfortunately, I might be at the point where it's taking up more time than it's saving for me to keep staring at this. It's been 42 minutes of looking at the meta puzzle, and I haven't solved it yet, so I might need one of the 2 missing answers that I haven't obtained yet in order to make it through the rest of this. Actually, I changed my mind, because I just realized that instead of swim meet, this could be swim team for a water sports group, and that puts an A here. And before I put this E into Nutramatic, Heavenly Reward was a very likely answer. I'm gonna try it as an answer. That's correct! Wow, I'm surprised. I genuinely didn't think that was gonna be the answer. I thought it was maybe a hint to whatever the right answer was. Okay, cool. So we solved the meta puzzle. Meta puzzle 1 is solved. That turns green. And nothing immediately unlocks. 45 minutes to solve the first meta puzzle. I was literally about to switch to a different puzzle. Like, I was on the verge of switching over. That's insane. Okay, so I guess I'm going to start my timer up again, and I think what I'm going to do is try to dive into Meta Puzzle 2 now that I have the Meta Puzzle 1 answer. Starting my timer now. Alright, this one took a while to translate over into the sheet because there's just so much stuff here. But I think I've finished. While admiring the sights of the nearby national parks. Okay, so I wonder if this has to do with national parks in some way. You find a torn-up diary with some kind of misshapen map. So this is probably the misshapen map. This is the diary down here, which I'll get to in a minute. It seems to chronicle the journey of a family from east to west along the Oregon Trail. You can almost read the diary, but the ink has run and jumbled up at least one word in each entry. As night falls, you begin to take a break from the day. Where will you spend the night? I'm not seeing any obvious way to fill this grid in with the answers. This is the first day of my diary. Already my children have been getting on my nerves. It seems they are doing this just to blank me and have drawn the blank of both me and my wife. So I can think of a couple of possible words that might fit in here. I assume the numbers are the enumerations for these words and not an index. Actually, okay, I think we might have to fill the grid first with our answers in some way. And then I think we're going to be reading. It says the family's going from east to west. So I'm wondering if these answers that are going to fill in these journal entries are going to be read through the grid somehow. So how do I fill these answers into the grid? There is this reference to national parks. Let me see if any of my puzzle answers reference national parks in some way. Ah, I see. George Gist is another name for Sequoia, and Sequoia is also a national park. Okay, so I don't think I'm putting in my answers directly into this grid. Does Sequoia just spell out across this row? Yes, it does. Okay, so a caldera is a large volcanic crater. Crater Lake is 10 letters, so I don't think it's that one. But it might be this one. Halicala? That's 9 letters, and it says that that's a volcano with a large crater, so I think that might be the one we're going with for caldera here. It looks like Mount Rainier is a national park and is also the snowiest place on Earth. Never mind, it's not Mount Rainier. Oh, it might be. I'm off by a letter somewhere. I think I've fixed the grid now. Sequoia still works for the top row, but this means that caldera is no longer correct because we have a different number of letters. So, but I'm pretty sure Mount Rainier is right. Okay, Crater Lake fits in here. Now, cactus. There's this Saguaro National Park, which is named after a cactus. And then lastly, we have Heavenly Reward. Yeah, it's gotta be Zion. It's called Heaven on Earth. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete the rest of this puzzle without these two answers here, but I'm gonna give it a go. Today we saw a man with some weird dancing syndrome. Some members of our caravan called it blank. We hope this does not happen to any of us. It could be chorea. Chorea is a movement disorder. Yeah, it could be really hard to find things because I don't have two of these answers. I could try starting from the end, too. Our children finally look to be doing better. We thought of a new motto today. What goes around, blank around. Okay, that has to be comes, right? What goes around, comes around. So I see some of those letters. Like this? Does it matter that they're not in order? It does say the ink has run and jumbled one word from each entry, so I guess it makes sense that comes is jumbled up here. Yeah, I don't think I'm having very much luck finding these answers because I'm missing the two centermost options. So I think about 37 minutes in, I'm going to stop working on meta puzzle number 2. and try to get one of these feeders. Maybe little experiments if I can. That would help a lot. Little experiments. During the journey, you start playing to relieve boredom and decide to conduct little elemental experiments for the first time. These little elemental experiments require you to make combinations to create new items. What is the final result of your little elemental experiments? I think this is based on the game Little Alchemy. I do know that these triangles are the elemental symbols for water, earth, fire, and air. So this first element that's the upwards triangle with a line through it is air. I can probably put in the other elemental symbols as well. So the triangle that's upwards with no line through it is fire. Downwards with no line is water. And then downwards with a line is earth. And these numbers in parentheses are matching the length of the words, so that's promising. Now the question is, does the rest of this follow Little Alchemy, or is it something that I'm supposed to like figure out myself? So here we go. I can mix 1 and 14, air and earth. So what happens if I mix air and earth in Little Alchemy? I get dust. So I believe dust goes here. Then down here I have 6 and 14. So that's adding fire and earth. Mixing fire with earth gives me lava. Okay. Doing well so far. Here I can mix earth and water. That gives me mud. Down here I can mix air and fire. That gives me energy. Here I can mix air and water. Air and water gives rain. If I then mix that rain with earth, what do I get? A plant. Okay. And then I can mix that plant with mud. And that gives me swamp. And then I can mix that swamp with energy. And that gives me life. Wow, I just made life. If I then mix life and air, I get a bird. And then I can mix 2 birds together to get an egg. If I mix life with earth instead, what do I get? I get a human. Meanwhile, I can mix air with lava, and I get stone. I can then mix that stone with fire to create metal. I can mix that metal with air, and that gives me rust. I can also mix air and stone for something, sand. And if I mix fire with sand, I get glass. If I mix sand with the glass, get an hourglass. That makes sense. Okay, so that's all of my alchemy experiments. Now, I assume I'm just filling these in onto these spaces down here. So 24 was gunpowder, 11 is rust. Maybe I'm just taking the first letters, GR. 14 is earth, egg, nerd, hourglass, air, bird, life, and energy. And that spells green Hable. I'm gonna try green Hable as the answer. That's not the answer. Oh, it looks like I might have done something wrong here, because hourglass doesn't have just 4 letters in it. Oh, I see. It made time as well as the hourglass. Okay, so green table is probably the answer. Trying green table. That was correct. That unlocks the puzzle Darwinism. My time for that solve is 52 minutes, keeping in mind that about 35 of that was spent on MetaPuzzle 2. And I think I'm going to reset my timer and start it right back up to keep working on MetaPuzzle number 2. So Green Table National Park, I wonder what that is. Looks like it's Mesa Verde. That makes sense. The thing is, I'm not having very much luck interpreting some of these clues. This one's probably Run the Gamut. G-A-M-U-T. I was kind of expecting it to be just around here. I was kind of expecting a single path, like, through the map from east to west somehow. Could this be ups the ante? I can get, like, ante with some of these letters. I'm thinking this first one might be irk. It seems that what the children are doing is trying to irk me. They've drawn the blank of both me and my wife. I don't know what that one is. It could be I, like drawn the eye of both me and my wife. Maybe ire, I-R-E. So like irk's here. So I keep going back through my answers that I have so far and trying to figure out how to spell them. And I need a G somewhere towards the beginning here because I am fairly sure gamut is correct. I was also pretty confident of Korea here, which I have a number of those letters. Like I have O, E, R, and A, which means I need a CH somewhere towards the end. And I think I found a national park that fits in these boxes that has a G at the start and a CH towards the end, and it's Gateway Arch National Park. So I'm going to try putting that in here and see if that helps me to get any more of these answers. Actually, yeah, it kind of does. So if this is irk and ire, the kids are starting to irk me and have drawn the ire of both me and my wife. Then you can spell irk here and ire here. So that puts us right next to this CH for Korea. And then we get to something that I don't know yet. Also, I can't quite spell gamut over here. I guess I can if I use like this M and this U. I'm gonna highlight this for now. It's not like a clear path. But then I had ante before that, and ante is like here. Oh, is it this? Okay, I just found this word for a possible remedy for calluses. It's Ayurveda. That's 8 letters, and I see a number of them in here. Like, it's not making a single path like I kind of expected it would. Today my daughter fell into some poison ivy. While plucking her out, we noticed the beautiful veins of the leaf. Okay, an areola can mean both a colored part of the body as well as the area between veins on a leaf. Areola is up here, which means I just have one more answer here, and it's probably gonna fit somewhere in here. It does look like the remaining letters are starting to spell something. I have like quarter. I'm reminded of my grandmother's stories about the old English courts of blank. So assuming that the answer phrase is going to start with quarter in, which would make sense because it's asking where we're going to spend the night, that leaves 11 letters down here, 6 of which go to this answer for 5. So I'm going to try to use Nutramatic to anagram these remaining letters and see if I can find a 6-letter word that is maybe a description of a court of Old England, and also a 5-letter word that might complete the extraction. Wagons? Wagon could make a lot of sense for the end of our phrase, quarter in wagon, and then E-S-S-A-Z-I. Yeah, court of assize is an Old English decentralized court system. Wow. Sometimes I'm amazed when I find these answers. So I think the final answer for MetaPuzzle 2 is quarter in wagon. Correct, yes! And my time, about 28 additional minutes that I spent on MetaPuzzle 2. Okay, so that's 2 meta-puzzles down, 1 to go. We don't have the 3rd meta-puzzle unlocked yet. I assume it's going to use the answer from meta-puzzle 2 as part of it. So I assume that that's going to be what I'm tackling next video, and trying to unlock meta-puzzle 3. Maybe I'll be able to finish it up next video. We'll just have to wait and see. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and as always, happy escaping.